A World Together by Sonia Manzano, Sesame Street's Maria. How many wonderful people do you know? You know your family and friends. You know your neighbors and teachers. Did you know there are about 8 billion people on the planet? That's more than you can count in your whole lifetime. They live on different continents, in different countries. Do you wonder what kinds of houses they live in? All these people hug and show love in the same way you do. They get warmed by the same sun and sleep under the same stars. Do you wonder about what people eat? Imagine all the different foods you can taste. Dumplings, meatballs, tortillas, baba ganoush, pizza. One thing you can count on, no matter where they're from, no kid can resist dessert. Is your tummy rumbling? And while your school may be different, your games may be different, your dancing may be different, and your art may be different, isn't it amazing that everyone loves to learn and play and move and create? Other kids might speak a different language from you. It might sound a little different the first time you hear it. But you can still share stories. And isn't it fun to talk with new friends? Some days you might feel happy or sad, excited or worried, glad or mad. Everyone in the world has felt these feelings. And when people feel scared, they sometimes forget that deep down we're all the same. But when they laugh together, they remember. And with laughter and love, we bring a world together. Isn't that wonderful? And that's because the world is full of wonderful people just like you. Wonderful people around the world. Hold your finger on the screen to read. Hola! I want to tell you about 2 photos that fascinated me when I was a kid growing up in the Bronx. They were of my mother and older sister in Puerto Rico. You see, at that time, I had never been to Puerto Rico, so of course I was curious about where my mother and sister had come from. In the photos, they are nicely dressed but posing in front of crude houses. The shacks they stood in front of could not have been more different from the buildings we lived in the Bronx. Those black and white photos gave me a glimpse into my mother's and sister's lives before I was born. When I finally visited Puerto Rico for the first time, I understood my mother even more in both profound and superficial ways. I understood her desire to grab the USA's invitation to work on the mainland, and after seeing the turquoise blue Caribbean Sea for the first time, I understood why she painted the kitchens and bathrooms in all the tenements we ever lived in that very color. On that visit, I was thrilled that everyone understood my Spanish, even though it was sprinkled with so much English. I began thinking about how Puerto Ricans born on the island, like my mother and older sister, were the same and different from Puerto Ricans born on the mainland, like me. Fast forward several years to my role as Maria on Sesame Street. There are many reasons I loved being on Sesame Street, but a major one is that it was seen and welcomed all over the world. I believe it succeeds because all people share a love of learning and often laugh at the very same things. In a divided world, multicultural understanding and tolerance becomes more important than ever. This book gives a glimpse into the everyday lives of the people from around the globe. I hope it encourages lively conversations about shared experiences and the fascinating similarities and differences that connect us all. Gracias, Sonia Manzano.